definitely want to thank my friends, my pastor, and one of my prayer partners who came out tonight. So thank y'all for coming. Appreciate that. And all the business leaders here. Thank you, Domi Station, and the whole team as well. I'm excited to talk to you about this topic that my friends like to say you're probably somewhere in the metaverse. Now it's going to make sense, okay? I want to talk to you about a little bit about me. I'm L.Michelle with L.Michelle Media. We are an emerging media and technology consulting firm. We, in the beginning, started in 2008, really just being a media company. My background is in broadcast journalism, so I was a broadcast storyteller. That's really what I did, doing the news. But it really kind of evolved as the technology did. And so I'm gonna take you on a little journey of that and let you know how I ended up in the metaverse, which I do want to give a shout out to Tech. If you've ever been a part of that or any of their conferences in Tallahassee, that was the first place where I was exposed to virtual reality. So just a little bit of background here. Welcome to the metaverse. So tonight I'll be your metaverse guide. I'm not like just a normal person anymore. I'm now a metaverse guide. So what is the metaverse? Anybody heard of it? Anyone have an idea? Okay, I do have hands. Okay, anybody want to take a stab at what the metaverse is? Because even those of us who are working in the metaverse don't quite have a definition for it. So I love to hear ideas. Yes.
Like the Matrix?
It is like the Matrix. A little bit like that. You know that part of the movie where Morpheus and they were kind of like in this all white space and everything just stopped. And he said, well, basically, what do you want to do? What do you want to create? The metaverse is a little bit like that. But first, let me start with the why. The why. Every generation ushers in a game-changing set of technical advancements, principles, disruptive mentalities that inspire new ways of thinking, doing, and wanting. I wish that was original, but it was Avi Gans who said that. But the point is, we are now in a space in time to usher in something new. And just to take you on a little journey, because I said I would, I'll start with this basic definition that's pretty widely used throughout the industry. The metaverse is the 3D successor to the internet. I like to just stop right there. When you think about the internet, think about the internet from a standpoint of you having the ability to go inside the internet. So normally we're just browsing, you know how I'm on my laptop, but imagine if you could be inside the screen, okay? That will enable us to move around and explore environments, both real and fantastical, on a one-to-one scale. To be quite honest, most of the descriptions, most of the marketing surrounding the metaverse surrounds the fantastical element. So most people say something to the effect that, well, I'm not really into gaming like that. I'm trying to work a real job. We're all business leaders here. It's kind of like, that's great, Elle, but how does this make sense in here and now? You access these worlds virtually or worlds via virtual reality, which for those who haven't been in, tonight is your night. I brought a headset just for you. Let's give it up. Let's go. Look at some people like, I'm not doing that. That's fine. Thank you for bringing the headset. Even brought some hands for you. See, the technology is no longer just machinery. It's tech and human kind of like combined. A mobile device or your computer or gaming console. So two things that kind of fuel the metaverse. One misconception is that Meta, which was formerly Facebook, is the metaverse. They're not the metaverse. They have a great marketing team that said, you know what, let's change our name to Meta. So when anyone thinks about the metaverse, they'll think about us. But the reality is Facebook or Meta is only a part of a larger metaverse. That's like someone calling themselves internet company, and then we say, oh, they must own the internet. They don't. They are a part of the metaverse. Now, are they leading it? Are they probably putting, well, they're putting the most money in it for sure, but they are just one part of this larger existence, this larger space. So what fuels the metaverse? Technologies like augmented reality. If you notice, my cool shirt is this kind of a cool company shirt. If you peep the logo, it's in this shirt. It's kind of cool. But it's even cooler because it's enabled by augmented reality. So really, if you scan this and hold it over the shirt starts popping out and doing all types of things. That's augmented reality. It adds to or alters something in the real world. Think Pokemon Go, photo filters, different things like that. Then there's virtual reality. All these technologies or mediums, if you will, fuel the metaverse, okay? VR can be real or made up space that you can enter through VR headsets. Virtual reality, like what we can enter here, takes you out of the real world and puts you somewhere else. The difference, when I put this on, I will not be able to see you. Although there's a new headset out where it's kind of mixed reality where I'll be able to see you a little bit better. But for the most part, I go inside and the world's just a wait. I mean, from going to NBA game courtside, who doesn't want to do that with a few friends, to viewing a movie. I even work out in the metaverse. There's really no excuses now, even though I've only worked out 3 times this year, maybe, but there's no excuses for that. There's so many things to do in there that are beyond fantastical about the journey, and then I'll get to questions. I said I started out as a media company. I actually started out wanting to create content, create websites. I was really into Web 1 because I was part of a church community where we were building websites. The church is my primary clientele, only really second or very close second to education, okay? So at the time, building a website was like $5,000. I mean, it was the commodity. It was like, look, you want a website, it's this enormous amount. And then if you missed one thing, they could leave and have all your content. I just wasn't hitting that. So I really I just said, well, I'll find out how to build. So WordPress was my friend. I was like, they're modern too, so I'm gonna learn how to build. I was a part of Web 1.0, which is the internet as we knew it back in the 90s, okay? So, most of us probably, know Web 0.0. Then here comes Web 2.0. It's the internet you browse today, okay? It's also known as the social web. Shout out to any and everybody who's on the social network. And that's pretty much everybody. And if it's not you, you know somebody who is. This is the space that we are pretty much in now. And the dawn of Web 2 technologies like JavaScript, HTML5, CSS3 enabled sites like Facebook, renamed Meta, Google, YouTube, all of those, that whole crew, as you know, Web 2 crew came about. But now, folks, like I said about the wow, there's always a space in time and in history, and we are very blessed to be here to see it emerge. Now we're entering Web 3. Now, Web 3, that's a whole nother discussion, but I'd like to show you that there's an association between that and the metaverse. They're kind of all hanging out together, if you will. If they were in a room, they'd all be in there. But Web 3 is built around a concept of the semantic web, which Berners-Lee envisioned like a web of data, a collaborative medium, a place where we could all meet, read, write, interact immersively. So enter the metaverse. Okay, these are just some other things that are associated with Web3, like cryptocurrency. Anybody into NFTs and cryptocurrency in here? I saw a hand back there. If not, eventually we all will, okay? Because that's still evolving. All of this is still evolving, to be honest. So the title of today's talk was A New Way to Work. So I just want to bring it home as quickly as I can and then answer any questions. Enter Horizon Workrooms. For me, if you want to write down any notes, if you want to go and research anything, I believe that Horizon Workrooms is an amazing start when it comes to the workforce in virtual reality. Let me show you some different things here. See this table? That is real people sitting around a real table working immersively as a team. This, to me, When the pandemic hit, you know, we all became Zoom lovers, whether you wanted to be or not. We were all on Zoom. We were in the little boxes. Okay, it was good. It's a great way to connect, but not as immersive. Imagine being able to go in here and meet with your team. Not that we want to eliminate the in real life working spaces, but to have a co-working space in the metaverse. Present immersively to your team. As you can see, this lady here, she's drawing a whiteboard, and then she is presenting whatever she needs to talk about or do there right on the whiteboard in virtual reality. I have a few notes about that. I just want to pull up really quickly. But with this new way to work, like a persistent whiteboard where you can turn any free space, like you could turn this free space right here into a whiteboard and begin to share. You can have flexible room space where you can meet with people. You can join from anywhere, anytime, and feel like you're there. I recently was in a consulting session, and one person was in Savannah, the other person was in a part of Denver. I'm here in Tallahassee. We know that from Zoom, but do we know that immersively? One thing about all the avatars you see here today, these are not robots. These are real people who have picked their avatar, who have picked their look, who have signed up, who have downloaded this app so they could be a part of this workspace. Like I said, it's persistent. There's spatial audio. There's expressive avatars. You can even have customized environments. What I like most about workrooms is it is just that. It's a workroom. It's a meeting space. And if I could go back to this, do you notice there's a lady who's not there who's on the screen? She's being in live via Zoom. So you might be saying, oh, well, if I don't have a headset, then thank you, L, but how am I going to be able to use this? In this space, look how she's waving right on cue. She is being in live via Zoom. And there was something major that just happened at Meta Connect. There was a partnership now between Meta and Microsoft Teams. So now Horizon Workrooms will be embedded in Microsoft Teams. They're not playing. They want the metaverse to be theirs, and I better tread lightly because we're on Meta right now. I think it is yours anyway. But, you know, there's more and more partnerships that are emerging. People are beginning to think way outside of the box because in Metaverse, you're not limited. It's everywhere. You can build a world around you. I recently, another platform that's good for your own personal meeting space and social meetups, more like a social metaverse, is Horizon Worlds, where I recently just built an office space in there. It feels amazing to be able to meet with clients in there. It feels amazing to be able to meet with my team in workrooms. And all of this is happening now. It feels amazing that my first VR film, now I can show it on YouTube VR. Did you know YouTube has VR? If you go to YouTube VR, you can watch immersive films. You can watch it in here, and you can see them right in your headset. Feels amazing to be able to exercise in there. Anybody like art? I have an art gallery in there. You can now take your 2D art and put it in an art gallery in the metaverse. There are districts. There are places to work. There are collaborative spaces. There's even web VR. I just didn't want to go super deep, but there's even metaverse platforms that you can create right from your desktop, and people can either go in immersively or via the web. I guess what I'm saying is, in my introduction, is maybe a few years ago when I was introduced in 2016, we wondered if it was going to go, how far it would go. In 2022, there's no stopping it. The time is now to get better acclimated, to begin to research these things. I have links on my website that is like, 14-minute tutorial into the metaverse, just so you can see more about it. I'll show you this quick video. and then I'll take any questions. Y'all feel all right? Am I doing all right out there?
Yeah.
All right.
I think we're mostly in shock. I know I am. I'm like, what exists? Where? Meta didn't make this up? This is
No, they didn't. And, yeah, let's see. I want to try to see if I can cast this next tab, but if not, I can take some questions. I just wanted to see if I could maybe show you a quick video on the metaverse. But what kind of questions are coming up in your mind right now? What kind of things are you thinking of?
We have one right over here.
Okay.
You can start.
As you look to the future of this technology, how can the average individual apply it to what they're doing every day?
I would definitely say, for all of us who are entrepreneurs or know an entrepreneur, getting a space in the metaverse where you can work out of is actually absolutely vital. How do you get started, though? You said right here. And I don't have a partnership with these headsets, but this is, I would say, the most solid headset you can get right now to access everything that I showed you today and more. This is the Meta Quest 2 headset. They just came out with the Meta Quest Pro that they're pushing more to business leaders, but that's really for developers and people who build in the metaverse. But you can get started by getting a headset and just becoming familiar. What you're gonna see happen in the next few months is you're going to see Meta make some of these tools that you'll experience when you take the demo on the headset today, make them available in 2D and Web 2.0. You'll be able to access them online, not as immersively, but at least you'll be able to see what's going on in there. You'll be able to see what people are doing in there via Reels. Like how they have Reels, there'll be an automatic function to take whatever video we use in the metaverse and put it right on our Reels. You're going to see more of a bridge type process happening to get more people acclimated. But I would say now is the time just to either begin to put money aside for this. These run about $3.99, or just go right out and buy it and just get one. My goal is for my team, our team is mostly comprised of students who would give opportunities, who work with us in this space of innovation. The goal is for all of them to have a headset and us to no longer meet on screen, but to meet in the environment, in the actual office space. So that's the goal. The goal or the start would be to get a headset. And then, hey, maybe through Women's Wednesdays, I forgot to plug that I'm the new leader of the tech squad. One time for the tech squad. I think I proved myself earlier trying to get this TV and everything going. I was like, okay, this little test, we got it though. But we're gonna want to do some more sessions just to help onboard you into the metaverse. Because there are things like this that you have to get used to. These are now your hands. This is the beginning of your hands. But there are also, once you really get acclimated, you can use your actual hands to click on things in the metaverse. I'm okay with it. I'm not like the best, but I am really good now with these. Also,
like that a little bit.
yeah, I mean, you could, let me see. Like now I could feel before, I would pick these up and be like, which hand is which it'll show you in the headset. Now I know right away, this is my right hand, this is my left. It's almost like you become the machine. So when you go into the metaverse, like you see a home screen on the computer, you go into your home. So like I told you before, it's like going inside the screen. So in those futuristic movies, when you would see people like jump in the screen and be like, oh, here we are. Well, now here we are. That's how the metaverse is. So I would start with the headset and then just onboard, get your avatar made. You can customize your avatar, get familiar, download a few apps. The more you go in, the more comfortable you become.
So Meta itself is kind of like the actual system.
Right.
I see that the software with the applications we're talking about are Horizon Worlds.
Yes.
So that means that there's others in addition to that? Is that what it's
Yes. Oh, yes. There are.
So that's what you kept talking about, downloading apps. So
Yes, and
Verizon is a particular app that can live in the metaverse, and there are others as well.
yeah, I'm glad you brought up that point because that's a good learning point right there too. You know how like we have our phones.
Right.
I'm team Android. It's all good though. For those who are Apple, but we have our ecosystems, right? Like either the Play Store or the App Store. It's the same in the metaverse. So similar to what you're saying, these are two apps that I pulled out because I felt that they would be really best to show how we can use this for work. But there are hundreds of apps.
So the app is your way to connect to the metaverse.
Yes, to that. So the app represents a platform for metaverses to come about. So the Horizon app, there may be worlds built within that would be considered metaverses.
But those worlds were not accessible to a different app.
No,
Okay.
right. So there's metaverse platforms, and then there's worlds within each
Kind of like
platform.
iPhone and Android.
There you
You
go.
gotta pick your one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna use you guys as an example. They do events.
Uh-huh.
Could they throw events
Oh my God.
in the metaverse
Oh.
and invite people?
Oh.
I mean, we need to talk about how this is practical
Right.
for business, right? So they
Yeah.
can create an event
Yes.
in the metaverse and invite people, and
Oh.
you have the VR headset
Mhm.
and show off basically your skills, and their expense is the app built, not any kind of food, not any kind of catering. So I just want you guys to think of it in that, what your business do in this
Right.
space.
So you absolutely can. You can throw.
I'm sorry?
There are ways to pay, big companies pay big
Yes.
money to do these.
Right, and
Absolutely.
you could invite people as your premier event and then charge money to get access, things like that, but I just
Right.
wanted to bring that.
Or it could be an extension. So you could do like a hybrid where we're having this event here, but then we could have a later meetup in the metaverse or a VIP meetup. You could do your whole event in the metaverse. The one thing that you have to be mindful of is you have to have a world space to do this. So where the money comes in is paying the world builders to build the space. So much like the 3D internet, now instead of a website, you have a world. Like L.Michelle Media, we have our website, but we have our worlds that you can go in as well. But in those worlds, you certainly can. You could do meetings, you can do events, and depending on the extent of the world, like we have a very cool world coming out really soon that I can't mention, but I'll drop it as soon as I can drop it. We're so
Aw.
excited. I was telling my pastor, I was like, I want to put it up, but if I do, then it'll go back to the client and they'll be like, really? You dropped it there? But the point is, we built this world in a way. I asked the world builders today, what is the capacity? And the capacity for an event is 24 people. Anybody in the world can come to the world. But if I'm throwing an event, then it would be capped off at 24 people. Let me tell you what I mean. I recently got invited to a fashion show in the metaverse. It was in Horizon World. I was so excited. It started at 10, and I knew the world builders behind it, so you were going to see this world that was just amazing. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to get there right at 10 to capacity. The capacity was 30 people. And I was thrown off because I was like, well, I'm here. I was like, shout out to all the people who couldn't get in. I'm in. Elle, you were not in. You were in the world, but I was in the world by myself. So they were having the event, so those 30 people could all see themselves. I could see the world, but I couldn't see what was happening in it.
So the world makers can make them in a world, or you can make your own?
They couldn't, on this particular platform, they couldn't duplicate themselves. Now on a platform like AltSpace, you can, after 50 people, you can recreate and you can continue to duplicate the world. They'll just only be in there with the 50 people that are in there in their particular space, but they'll see what's going on in the main space.
So there are different ways to sort of create worlds. What made you choose Horizon? What is the difference?
They're the most progressive.
Okay.
They are, you can always tell how progressive an app is if you come on, and pretty much every time I come on, there's an update. The other worlds haven't put as much finance behind the tools for creators. Like, let me tell you just really quick, and I saw your hand, a longer term goal for Meta. So when I came to this event, I could buy bubble gum at the event. And I was like, gum? I was like, well, of course I'm gonna buy the gum. Why not? It was like 99 cents. But that went to the creator of the event. So it's going to get to a place where in your worlds, like I'm in the smart glasses, in case y'all didn't notice, I don't want to go on a tangent, but these are smart glasses, they record life and everything. I'm into glasses. So in my world, there'll be glasses that you can then buy and then wear in the world and take your pictures or do different things, and then the money comes to the creators.
So there's the
so it's-
bridge of buying something virtually,
Right.
but you receive it actually in
For your
house.
avatar. Because your avatar has to wear clothes.
There's no tangible.
Yeah.
Right. If she's-
Oh, wherever my designers are, oh, the design, you gotta, what I wanna convey with this is a world. People have to wear clothes, hats, glasses. I mean, that's why I wanna be able to stream mine. My avatar is pimped out. Her hair is just like this. I mean, I'm just being honest, because you have to get that technical, because it's almost like a digital twin on steroids. It's really serious. People take this serious. Yes.
So I was wondering, since you were talking about how you can do avatars, because my kids obviously have Oculus and they do, various things. And, I can get behind, really doing up and being bougie with my avatar. So I think that's a great way. Are people, like that are in the business, like brands, when you're doing brand recognition, is that now in?
Oh, they are.
In your avatar, where you can say, okay, if you want a Louis Vuitton and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Or if you want Gucci, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
You pay for this and you get to this and you get to that. I can see how that can get, for parents, that'd be the scariest thing. Because your children would be like,
It's
"I
all-
want this, I want
it's
that."
all happening, right?
On Roblox, you have to pay for those
Yes,
Robux for
yes.
them. So check it out. So let me show you an even greater tie, because we talk about Web3, right? And I said, anybody in the NFTs and cryptocurrency and all that? So I created a wearable NFT that can be worn in a world, and it's also in your wallet.
Nice.
So yes, people are really now
Yeah.
starting to get into that.
I've
It
heard
wasn't
that.
on this world platform, it was in Decentraland. But one word that's becoming a big word right now is interoperability. People are like, why should my avatar just be stuck in Horizon? Why can't I have my avatar go across different platforms? Which, for people who are creating things for avatar, that's more for us. Because now, you have staying power in different worlds.
But that's not operational yet.
There is one platform, I'll just throw out some names, just y'all take the note. ReadyPlayer.me. You can go into several use it on several metaverse platforms.
So this
You can use your avatar, your one avatar.
so
you collect.
these new apps would only create the avatar, not the worlds. But
No.
You can move between worlds from different apps.
Right. Through that
Through
one
that particular-
one
So long as your
provider.
avatar belongs to that app.
Yes. But I like Ready Player Me because they're thinking, like, it's not just about one space. It's about how can our avatars, like we are in everyday life. I don't leave here and change bodies. That'd be really weird, and nobody would want to talk to me anymore. They'd be like, you're weird. So we want, in the metaverse is trying to, really recreate life in a sense. Yes. I don't know.
There is one online question that I want to get to, and I know we're running out of time, but I feel like the more she speaks, the more we're like, wait, I'm understanding. I have more questions.
I can tell.
So But the question online says, did you say that someone could join via Zoom if they didn't have a virtual headpiece or whatever do you call it?
Absolutely. If you didn't have a virtual headset, you can join via Zoom, at least through the Horizon Workrooms platform, and there are more platforms that are coming. Because the key is, in order for the metaverse to really thrive, there have to be bridges. So the developers are thinking in ways like, we can't just leave everyone in Web 2 and be like, well, get on or get off. That's not gonna work. Some people wanna experience it before they go out and spend $400 on a headset. So you definitely can, and especially in the workforce, we wanna be able, like for me, I wanna be able to talk to you in my workroom. And by the way, do you know that you can see your laptop in the workroom and be working with the headset on with all the avatars around you and someone on Zoom and you see your laptop screen? It's bizarre, but it's real.
But the person in Zoom doesn't see the actual work.
Actually, you can screen share. And they do see, and they see what's on your screen, but they also do see it in a flat sense. They don't see it immersively.
I think we have time. Barbara, go ahead.
I was thinking when I was talking to you about speaking, because I was thinking, I knew that Facebook was rebranding to Meta, and I've heard of the Metaverse, but I tell you, I just really didn't fully understand what it was, and I know that it's still a little blurry for me, but just reading, like you think about how transformative just the internet was, just everything that's come from there, and then just comparatively that this is the same thing again. And if we're not a part of that, then I think, that's a missed opportunity. But then the other thing I think for women and girls is a lot of young guys, I mean, you said your kids and stuff, and I don't know how.
Because they're not kids anymore, they're adults, but I still call them my kids.
I was saying, sometimes boys and men have more connectivity to some of the things like that.
And they're encouraged a little more in the STEM fields, yeah.
But you definitely, go ahead.
The beautiful part about this is it leans heavily into design and art and creative.
Yeah.
It tends to be more of what young girls are into.
Right.
So you can bring them into the technical side later after they found love creating creatively in the platforms.
That's encouraging.
Yes.
And I have done, I just in terms of just for fun, I have had people have me do some virtual reality, like a roller coaster, like this and stuff, and it was just an absolute blast.
Yes.
Just from a fun thing.
Yes.
But adapting that to work life and different types of opportunities. I'm
There's
glad that we're keep learning.
The whole virtual reality platform, what are they call it, New Worlds. They have VR headsets, they have VR rides, they're in River Square.
If you haven't done it, it's like, holy cow, this is
So if you want to expose it without spending the hundreds of dollars, you can put it on, see what it's like, and engage with it, and try it out.
They're getting more popular everywhere, because you can go and you'll see in different cities that they just have, VR rooms where you just see all of this, and people coming in and just doing their gaming or
Like
whatnot.
you used to have internet cafes, now they're VR cafes.
Yeah.
To get out before everybody had to go eat it.
I wanted to say, sorry. I just wanted to say thank you for connecting the dots, because about 2 years ago, I said my background is in accounting, and so Turbo and Intuit have merged. And so we had a conference online. And I'm like, I'm a millennial, what's going on here? So they literally had a virtual reality going on. So I was like, okay, do I need to go up the stairs? But I was on Zoom, and now all of this connected the dots for me. Because I had no idea what was going on. And it just got through. It was a lot of people on that conference, and there were different worlds. Now it's connecting the pieces.
Right.
And so this is just wow.
Yeah.
I'm so thankful to be able to be here to just speak about this. Not that we're ending, but going to our next phase of this networking. I'll just say this is the new office, the new classroom, the new gym, the new way to experience fun. This is what's next. This is the next era of computing. It's right here. And so, I would just encourage us, to embrace it. This is, thank you, screen, a new way to work that's more immersive. I could get into the scientific things, but I won't go into that about how you have quarterbacks who have perfected their skills by just being in the VR headset because your brain registers it as an experience. And so you're perfecting your skills, just throwing in the metaverse, and they're seeing better results in their performance. I could speak to my 3-year-old, he's now 7, who we put in a VR headset. I do want to note that these headsets are approved for those 13 and up. Any children under that age, they're not approved for them. They could use them, but there's no research yet. There's not enough to show what might be the effects on your eyes. So before there was this, we had, and I should have brought all the different examples, we had a cardboard headset, but we made a film on the FAMU Marching 100. We would always let him see it. We just thought it was fun for a kid. Now that's all he talks about at 7. I'm be a drum major. He can do all the moves. We've shown him none of this. I'm just like, that's a small thing, but it does make you think. And it also makes us as business leaders, let's get our conscious level up. Because I've talked about a lot of good, but there's a lot of other stuff out there too. And your brain is registering that as an experience. So let's push the good. Let's get in the space and do more good than there are other things. Yes.
Michelle, one question I have about the 24-person limit, is that because of bandwidth or is it because of computing power, or why is it limited to the attendees? You talked about the fashion show being limited to people. What is the result of, why is it limited to that?
I think for the platform, there's a certain spacing. So like on your computer or whatever, you have all these set gigabytes. So based on the elements you're putting in the world, the capacity begins to shrink. So it probably could fit more, but because this is a platform that Meta provides where hundreds of thousands of people could build worlds, they probably have set the capacity. And it could also be a marketing or a business strategy. If you think about it, you know what they're gonna say, well, if you want 50 people, you can. It just won't be on the freeway. Of which we will then go ahead and buy those who are, So I hope that helps.
So I have a question about the headset in particular. So obviously, with Oculus and things like that have come before. When that first came out, I saw that you mentioned that those are now $400, but originally when they first came out, it was like $1,500 for the set.
That was the Oculus Rift, and it was tethered to your computer.
Right.
So then, but I think to your point, how many headsets are we going to be buying? Like, are we going to buy this one, this one, this one? This has pretty much met industry standards, become standard. There's also a headset, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention it, called the Pico that's coming out. They'll have their own Apple app ecosystem as well. It is a direct competitor to the Meta headsets, but we had a version that was $199. That was the Oculus Go. It was later, all the apps in there was sunset as the Meta Quest 1 and then 2 came out.
And they all work in the Metaverse?
The Oculus Go does, but it does not work with the app ecosystem. They pretty much sunset all those apps and move them over to the Meta Quest 2.
And then my last question in regards to the headset, because I am visually impaired. So is that going to make my vision better?
I thought about that.
Actually see everything?
I actually thought about that for smart glasses, or just different things. Like, wouldn't it be cool to have an app where you don't have to have a prescription? Like, anyway, what I will say about that is that this does come with a feature or a fixture where you can wear it with your glasses.
See, my problem is my eyesight is so bad, they won't even put glasses on it. I'm just blind in one eye.
Well,
I have no depth perception.
Well, we'll try it tonight,
Okay.
and then we'll be able to see what it does.
I was gonna say, we want to leave time for L.Michelle to do some demonstrations for those of you that are feeling brave. But first, we want to give her a round of applause. Now, if you're here in person, you do not have to leave. I know you have more questions. I mean, I feel like there's more, much like the metaverse, we're just getting deeper and deeper in.
I know, we're right there.
But I know you have more questions. She wants to allow some demonstrations, so please hang out. There's still refreshments. So online, we're going to go and we're going to jump right in and do some demos. Thank you for joining us. You can always find new content from us on Wednesdays. So check if you haven't joined the Facebook page, if you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please do so that you can keep up with the next thing that we're doing here at Women Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us.
Yay!